Up as a kid, yeah. All a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports, and I'm here with my guy, Juice Alert, part of the Juice Alert podcast. Juice, how you doing today, man?
Good. I'm doing good. Appreciate you for having me on, man. You kind of hit me up last minute about this, but it's all good. I'm ready to, talk some Packers football whenever, or just talk about sports in general. I know I had you on my show, before the season started. That was a good show. It did well as far as the, views go, the likes, all that stuff. People liked what we had to say. And yeah, I appreciate you for having me on, man.
I appreciate you for coming on, man. So, before we get started, let the people know where they can find you at.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, JT calls me Juice, I like to tell people that my real name is Jaman because a lot of people don't know how to pronounce it because it's spelled Ghiman, but it's pronounced Jaman. But you can call me Juice if you want. That's what a lot of people call me, either Juice or Juice Alert. So my name is Jaman McKinney. You can find me on YouTube at the Juice Alert. Just type in the Juice Alert to YouTube and you can find me. I'm also available on podcasting platforms. So, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that great stuff. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. My main Instagram is Jaman_McKinney. So GHIMAN _MCKINNEY. I also have an Instagram for the show. It's the Juice Alert _. You can also find me on Twitter as well. Twitter is pretty much the same thing. Just type me in and you'll find me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of, mostly talk about the NFL on my channel, occasionally basketball, baseball, but mainly it's based on football. Hopefully once the season's over, I can get down to some of my film breakdowns because those are the videos that really do well as far as my views go. But, I talk about the NFL a lot, football, that's my favorite sport. And yeah, man, just hit me up on social media. Follow me on the Juice Alert. We're close to 3,000 subscribers, so you don't want to miss out.
And I will have all of his social media and the link to his YouTube channel down in the description down below. And I'll have a card up on the top right that will also pop up that you guys can click on to go ahead and check them out. So the Green Bay Packers head into this game as a 1-point favorite on the road against the Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers right now, they are 3-2. They were on a pretty hot start. After that loss that they suffered week 1 to New Orleans Saints, they got things kind of picked up, but then injuries kind of kicked in. You had some injuries to Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, as we already know, he's out for the season. Now, Chris Godwin is supposed to be able to play in this game, hopefully. So, you're looking at a Buccaneers team that should be nearing 100%. Now, Green Bay, on the other hand, you're 4-0 in my opinion. I think that you guys are the best team in the NFC. I know a lot of people may say Seattle, but listen, you can't call yourself the best at something if you're only good at one thing. Seattle only plays offense. They forget about defense. So, first we got to talk about the matchup. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. What's your take on it? Two GOATs in the two – well, I wouldn't say in the – well, I guess we could still say Aaron Rodgers has kind of rejuvenated his prime, basically. He brought his prime back because a lot of people thought Aaron Rodgers was done. Now, Tom Brady – I wouldn't say Tom Brady's in his prime, but he's still a pretty solid quarterback.
Yeah. I want to talk about Tom Brady first. A lot of people, kind of wrote off Tom Brady because, his stats weren't as good last year, And fair enough, I don't think Tom Brady is an elite quarterback anymore. I still think Tom Brady is, at least still a very good tier 2 quarterback. He's very, very smart. He's very accurate. He doesn't miss open wide receivers. He's probably the smartest quarterback in the NFL right now, if you think about it. Tom Brady, it's a different game today, with mobile quarterbacks moving around like Deshaun Watson, Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. But Tom Brady, he's very good at sliding inside the pocket, buying time, And listen, man, Tom Brady's won 6 Super Bowls for a reason. He's one of the greatest of all time. In my opinion, the greatest quarterback of all time. So, yeah, Tom Brady, I never really understood why people felt that he was washed. I understood it because, you think Tom Brady's 42, 43 years old. He stinks now. And, but you look at what New England was last year. They didn't have a whole lot of weapons on the outside at wide receiver for Tom Brady, And now that's one of the biggest reasons why he went to Tampa Bay because he said, hey, I see Mike Evans, I see Chris Godwin, I see 3 really good tight ends. Let me go have a field day with these guys. And on the other hand, Aaron Rodgers, You know, I said in the offseason that Aaron Rodgers was the third best quarterback in the NFL. Some people agree with me. A lot of people disagree with me. But I still think Aaron Rodgers, you know, from 2011 to early 2017, I said that Aaron Rodgers was probably the best quarterback in football. You know, at least top two in his position. You know, Tom Brady was winning the Super Bowls, but Aaron Rodgers, you know, he didn't have Belichick's defense, didn't always have the greatest running game, never really had, you know, the complete rosters that Brady had. I do think that if, you know, Aaron Rodgers had a better coaching staff and better parts around him, he'd have more Super Bowls, you know, because Aaron Rodgers, here's a fun fact. He's never failed to score 20 points in a playoff game, okay? That's astonishing, you know. And you look at Tom Brady, he won a Super Bowl scoring 13 points. So, you know, I never really understood the narrative that, oh, Aaron Rodgers is the choker, he's this, he's that. To me, Aaron Rodgers, you know, he's a guy that for his career has exceeded expectations. You know, he's exceeded expectations because he was taking over for Brett Favre, and there was a lot of pressure on him. And as a Packers fan, I was like, can Aaron Rodgers do it? Can he not? We'll see. And I think he's better than Brett Favre. You know, he's won 2 MVPs. We know about the Super Bowl that he won versus the Steelers. And to me, I think Aaron Rodgers actually is the top 5 quarterback of all time. You know, I really do. I think he's good.
I was just talking to my friends about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Aaron Rodgers is, you know, he's probably the most efficient quarterback of all time. You know, there's an outside shot that Aaron Rodgers could finish his career with 500 touchdown passes for his career and roughly a little over 100 interceptions. That's crazy. Okay. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he's great. You know. Yeah. I mean, so I think that Aaron Rodgers, you know, I think if you prorate his stats, he's going to be, you know, anywhere from top 5 to top 10 in pretty much almost every single category all the time. He's already 7th all time in touchdown passes. And I've always said that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, but Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time, meaning as far as ability goes, you know, to throw the football, you know, throwing out platform, you know, accuracy, throwing with touch, you know, arm strength, you know, running for first downs if you need him to. He's that guy. You know, I think that he's the most talented quarterback of all time. I know people get caught up with Patrick Mahomes, but I got to see Patrick Mahomes do it for a decade, you know, before I say he's past Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, that's how I feel about those two guys. I do think that if Aaron Rodgers gets 2 more Super Bowls, you can potentially name him the GOAT. Maybe, maybe not. But I think that if he wins the 2nd Super Bowl, he's at least in Tom Brady and Joe Montana's class, along with Peyton Manning too. But right now I have him as the 5th best quarterback of all time behind Brady, Montana, Peyton Manning, John Elway, then I have Aaron Rodgers. And I have Drew Brees at number 6. So sorry, Saints fans. I don't care. I already made a video on my channel actually saying why Aaron Rodgers is the better all-time quarterback than Drew Brees. You guys can check that out. But, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about those 2 guys.
So my biggest question for you is, what are 2 keys to the game that Green Bay has to execute if they want to beat Tampa?
Okay, but before I get started, for those of you that do not know, I'm actually a Packers fan. That's kind of why JT brought me. I didn't mention that earlier. Yeah, you know, so go Pack go. We're looking pretty good. You know, it's very interesting because, like you mentioned earlier, Tampa does a lot of things well. So I would say, honestly, if we can control time of possession and win both lines of scrimmage, we can beat Tampa because we're a very good team, but Tampa, I think, is a very talented team as well. Actually, on my channel, I picked Tampa to win the Super Bowl. Straight up. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. Now, if I were to, you know, maybe switch off that pick, I'd say maybe Green Bay or Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, you know. But for now, I'm going to keep that prediction. Tampa, you know, I still think they're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. This really is honestly not necessarily a must-win game for them, but kind of is, you know. But see,
Carolina.
The thing is,
think about it.
Yeah,
Carolina, they lose this game.
They're very good.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, think about this. Tampa loses this game. They dropped to 3-1. Now, if Carolina defeats the Chicago Bears, they'll be 4-2. And think about this. Who would have thought going into, week 6? We'll be going into week 7 with the possibility of Carolina being number 1 in this division in the NFC South. Who would have saw this coming? So, I mean, for Tampa Bay, I mean, I think they have to win this game because 3-3 – the margins for error just really won't be there because the schedule is going to get a little bit difficult as well because they still got to face New Orleans again. And, I mean, you might have to match up against Carolina, which Carolina looks better than what they looked when the first time you played them. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a must-win game, but it is a game that if you're Tampa Bay, you would love to have at this point in the season.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You know, you look at even Chicago, you know, like you mentioned earlier, Chicago's 4-1. You know, there's a lot of good teams. Even Arizona, who struggled, you know, the last couple of weeks, you know, they beat the Jets. but, Arizona could be ahead of, the Buccaneers when it's all said and done. I actually picked the Cardinals to make the playoffs. But getting back to the matchup, if we control both lines of scrimmage and control time of possession, we can beat Tampa Bay. Because if you look at how Tampa Bay operates, when they're at their best is actually, in my opinion, when they're a balanced football team. Leonard Fournette, he's a very good running back. That
Ronald Jones,
Ronald Jones, he's a good running back too. And we've seen, the last couple of years when my Green Bay Packers struggle is when we can't stop the run. Mm-hmm. And if Leonard Fournette's running the ball down our throat and Tom Brady's being efficient, bombing the ball to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, then they're really hard, offense to stop. And I say control both lines of scrimmage because I believe if my Green Bay Packers can protect Aaron Rodgers, because I look at Tampa Bay, I say, okay, you got Shaq Barrett and you got JPP coming off the edge. Two really good pass rushers. You look at Tampa Bay's front seven. It's one of the best front sevens in the entire NFL. And my Green Bay Packers have, had a very good offensive line, for this year. So I think that, if we protect Aaron Rodgers and keep those guys, kind of neutralized and give Aaron Rodgers time to throw, I'm sorry, but I don't see anyone in that secondary on Tampa Bay that can truly shut down Devontae Adams, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling's playing really well. Alan Lazard is out for this game, but Robert Tonyan's played pretty well the last couple of weeks. He's had a couple of touchdowns in the last couple of games. Jay Sternberger's a good tight end. Obviously, Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are good running backs out the backfield. And Aaron Rodgers, he's doing his thing. So, look, if we're controlling both lines of scrimmage, that means we're probably stopping the run, and we're giving Aaron Rodgers time to throw. And I think that we can – yeah, no doubt. And listen, if we can, keep Tampa Bay off the field, I believe that's our best defense. If we can just run the ball with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, be efficient, eat up clock, get out to an early lead, and say, hey, Tom Brady, you're not going to be on the field 24/7. We're going to control the whole time of possession. We're going to control the clock. We're going to control both. We're going to control both lines of scrimmage. So I think that those are the two biggest things. Like you mentioned on your channel, most football games are wide in the trenches. Mm-hmm. And if we can, if we can just give Aaron Rodgers time to throw, I believe that he's going to dot up that defense. And I believe that if we're getting in the backfield and holding Leonard Fournette accountable on the other side and controlling time possession, we'll be fine. But it's a tough matchup. It really is.
Yeah. So before I get into my prediction, I want to say this because I'll say my prediction, then I'll ask for yours, and then we'll let you go because I know you're busy. So I think that Tampa Bay's defense matches up pretty well with Green Bay's offense on paper because you got to look at it like this. Lavonte David, he's played at an all-pro level. He was just NFC Defensive Player of the Month. You had Antoine Winfield, who has played great. I told everybody, Antoine Winfield coming out was the best safety in this draft class. He was going to have an immediate impact. He was already, NFC Rookie of the Month or something like that. You also have a pretty good defensive line, like you said earlier, Shaq Barrett. You got JPP. But this secondary, though, I want to see just how good the secondary is. Now, Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean. Okay, those guys have flashed this season, especially Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis has really came on this year. And I think that depending on how this game goes, I think this is a game that is going to be won by who makes the biggest plays when it matters the most in the fourth quarter. Okay, which quarterback is going to be able to get their team in position to win this game within the last 6-7 minutes of the fourth quarter. So, for me, I'm going to take Green Bay, and I think Green Bay wins this one 27-24. And here's why I'm going to take Green Bay to win this game. I don't trust Tampa Bay's offensive line. You got Zadarius Smith, who has 5 sacks in a year. I think last time I checked, he was tied with Myles Garrett, I believe, for 5 sacks in the NFL. Now, he had a bye week. I don't know if Myles Garrett got another sack, but I do know, for one, that Zadarius Smith is top 5 in the NFL in sacks. So you look at what Khalil Mack did to that offensive line Thursday. And a lot of Tampa Bay fans are probably going to come on here. They're going to say, oh, man, we're going to make adjustments. Listen, you can make all the adjustments you want to. If a team's better than you up front, they're just better than you up front. It's not really too many adjustments you can make. Now, you can try to get the ball out quick, but what you want to do once you're in a third and long situation, it's 3rd and 15, and you got to have time to let those routes down the field develop. So, for me, I just think that Green Bay's defensive line is going to be the deciding factor in winning this game. And that's why I'm going to have to take Green Bay to win 27-21. It's my final score prediction. What's your prediction?
As a Packers fan, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to lose. I really do. I think we're going to lose. I really do think we're a better team than Tampa Bay right now, but you're not going to go 16-0 on the schedule. And I'm actually one of the more realistic fans out there. I actually didn't pick my Green Bay Packers to, really, go off this year. I know I had them at 11-5, which was a very good record, but right now they're on pace to go 13-3, maybe 14-2 if things bounce their way. But I don't know. I just think that it's one of those games where we're coming off a bye week, so I do like that, the fact that we're coming off a bye week. But Tampa Bay also has about 10 days to prepare for us as well. And they're coming off of a loss versus Chicago. We're coming off a very good win versus Atlanta. And I think that this is going to be one of the more bigger tests for our team. And I'm not saying our team can't, live up to that challenge, because I do think that we're a better team. But it's on the road, and usually Tom Brady, he doesn't lose 2 straight games. So if you were to bring the Green Bay Packers fan side out of me and say, okay, Green Bay Packers fan, how's your team going to win? I would say that if Green Bay wins the game, it's going to be 30-26. If my Packers win, that'd be the score. Because I think that Aaron Rodgers and that offense, they can put up some points on Tampa Bay's defense, okay? I like Tampa Bay's defensive front, but Justin Herbert, he lit them up, okay? He lit them up.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and the Saints week 1, they were pretty efficient as well, So when Tampa's had to go against good quarterbacks this year, I'm not saying Justin Herbert's the top 10 quarterback, but he's very talented. There's no reason why Aaron Rodgers can't hang 30 on this team. And I think that Green Bay's offensive line will give Aaron Rodgers time to throw. But I think that Tampa Bay gets out to an early lead. I think their defense will do just enough. And my Green Bay Packers played pretty good defense versus Atlanta, on Monday Night Football. But outside of the Atlanta game, they've been kind of shaky at times, And I think that, Jair Alexander versus Mike Evans will be an interesting matchup. I think that's kind of a wash. Both players will make their plays. But, Kevin King versus Godwin.
Chris Godwin, yeah. I see a lot of Packers fans complain about It's like he's like the Jameis Winston cornerbacks. Like, you'll see some good plays, you'll see the athleticism, and then you also see, some blown coverages. So,
yeah, I think that this is a game that Tampa needs more than Green Bay. And I think that that's just what it's going to come down to. I think that it's going to kind of be a back and forth matchup, very similar to the Chargers and Buccaneers game, except I think they'll be close all the way through. And I just think that ultimately Tampa Bay will make a play or two that we don't make. And so I'm going to pick, if I were to be a realistic fan, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay to win. Give me Tampa Bay 28-27. I think Tampa Bay can win by about 1 point.
That's what the spread is too. So, Jamon, a.k.a. Juice, I appreciate you for coming on, man. We had a pretty good, lengthy conversation, man. This is going to help us out in the SEO because the longer the video, higher rank. So, I appreciate you coming on, especially with it being short notice as well, because I was kind of struggling to find out talking points for this video. So, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Everybody, make sure that you guys check out the Juice Alert podcast, Juice Alert on Instagram, Twitter. I'm going to have all his social medias linked down in the comment section. It's going to be a card up below. And take care, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me on the show, man.